ComplianceForge sells editable cybersecurity procedure templates that can save your organization hundreds to thousands of hours of work that frees your staff up to do the work you've hired them to do, instead of writing documentation. These procedures templates are Microsoft Word documents that you can edit for your specific requirements. Documented procedures are one of the most overlooked requirements in cybersecurity compliance. But procedures are also a minimum expectation that an auditor or assessor is going to demand as evidence of your due diligence and due care. When an organization needs to develop policies, standards, and procedures, there are generally 4 major cybersecurity frameworks that are used as a starting point. These include the NIST Cybersecurity Framework, ISO 27001 and 2, NIST 853, or the Secure Controls Framework. We offer policy, standards, and procedures solutions for each of these frameworks. The Cybersecurity Standardized Operating Procedures, or CSOP, is our framework-specific solution for procedures. We have versions to address NIST Cybersecurity Framework, also referred to as NIST CSF, ISO 27001 and 2, NIST 853, and the Secure Controls Framework, which is also referred to as SCF. For anyone who has written procedures, the answer for why companies routinely fail to maintain procedures is clear. It takes considerable time and effort to properly document processes. This is often tied to a lack of best practices around what good procedures look like, since every organization tends to do something different, based on internal staff preferences or auditor pressure. This leads to a lack of standardization across departments and business functions, which can be an issue when trying to maintain what right looks like if an organization-wide benchmark does not exist. The CSOP can serve as that benchmark within your organization. The NIST 853 version of the CSOP is framework-specific. This means that the coverage for the procedures is limited to just what is found in the NIST 853 framework. It is important to note that this set of procedures is meant to complement ComplianceForge's CDPP version of the NIST 853, because it provides a one-to-one mapping between the policies and procedures. When you purchase this version of the CSOP, you will receive a Word document that directly maps to the standards in the CDPP policies and standards, which maps to the NIST 853 controls. This is all done to help demonstrate your organization's alignment with that selected framework. While most organizations need to align with the moderate baseline of NIST 853, we also offer a high baseline version. The moderate baseline version contains the low, moderate, and privacy baselines from NIST 853 R5 Bravo. The high baseline version contains the low, moderate, high, and privacy baselines from NIST 853 R5 Bravo. The NIST 853 version of the CSOP contains cybersecurity procedures that are tailored for organizations that want to singularly align with NIST 853 Revision 5. Generally, we find that organizations choosing to align with NIST 853 are doing so for contractual reasons, where those organizations are either in an industry that is expected to speak NIST 853, based on its contractual obligations to implement and report on NIST 853 controls. The CSOP is an editable set of documentation that addresses the how questions in an audit or assessment, since procedures provide the means for how your organization's policies and standards are actually implemented. More specifically, it provides the structure and core content of the underlying cybersecurity procedures that must be documented, as required by applicable statutory, regulatory, and contractual requirements. The CSOP is written to be concise and understandable by non-technical individuals. There is no software to install, so if you can use Microsoft Word and Excel, you can edit the CSOP and customize the documentation for your specific needs. This is professionally written documentation that addresses leading secure practices, and it establishes the basis for your customization efforts. Since every organization has unique requirements and requires some level of customization on your behalf, in reality, we have done the heavy lifting for you, which allows you to customize the areas that only you would know, since they are specific for your business practices. Given the difficulty of writing templated procedure statements, we aimed for approximately an 80% solution, since it is impossible to write a 100% complete cookie-cutter procedure statement that can be equally applied across multiple organizations. With this understanding that it is a template, There is a complete expectation that our clients need to provide the final customization based on their specific technologies and available resources. This means ComplianceForge has done the heavy lifting to create high-quality procedure statements. You just need to refine those procedure statements with the information that only your subject matter experts would know. It is pretty much filling in the specific details on the who, what, when, where, and how to make it tailored specific to your organization. The CSOP is solely focused on procedures and only includes the procedures templates. If you need policies, control objectives, standards, and guidelines, those are available in are a separate product, which we call the Cybersecurity Data Protection Program, or CDPP. We do offer discounted bundles with both the CSOP and CDPP products if you want to purchase policies, standards, and procedures together for significant savings. The stark reality is that most stakeholders do not have familiarity with what a procedure should look like or what is required. Think of the CSOP as a buffet table, where you are providing content for your stakeholders to consume. This is where your stakeholders, those who are responsible for certain controls, can simply copy what they need from the CSOP to address the controls they are directly responsible for having documented evidence. Realistically, one stakeholder is not going to do all the procedures since it is a team effort. The CSOP gives the stakeholders a significant starting point to document their procedures that helps ensure standardization and save significant time in the process. One of the most important things to keep in mind with procedures is that the ownership is different than that of policies and standards. Your organization's policies and standards are designed to be centrally managed at the corporate level, such as your GRC team or the CISO. On the other hand, procedures are by their very nature decentralized, to standardize processes at the individual contributor or team level to define how the control is addressed. Unlike policies and standards that generally have an annual review, procedures are more dynamic. Procedures should be viewed as living documents that require frequent updates based on changes to technologies and staffing. While it is possible to store procedures in a GRC platform, procedures are most often documented in team share repositories, such as a file share, wiki, SharePoint page, or workflow management tool. Procedures are meant to be concise and to the point, not Shakespearean prose that explains concepts ad nauseum. To clarify this point, think of explaining the process of making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich to a child. Not enough detail will lead to an unsatisfactory result. So the goal is to provide just enough detail without overwhelming the control operator. This is the approach ComplianceForge uses in developing its procedure templates to make our procedures concise, scalable, and easy to maintain. Our goal is to make the CSOP as close to the easy button as possible. The CSOP primarily comes with framework-specific procedures. You have to expect your procedures to change as technologies and business processes evolve. This is where ComplianceForge templates are extremely useful. For each of our products, we provide example documentation that you can review so that you can see the level of detail and professionalism that went into creating the CSOP. To view the examples, navigate to the CSOP product page on the ComplianceForge website, scroll to the Examples section, and there you will see a link to the example documentation. When you look at the cost of either hiring an external consultant or tasking your internal staff with writing your cybersecurity documentation, the cost comparisons make it clear that buying from ComplianceForge is the logical option. When compared to hiring a consultant, you can save months of wait time and tens of thousands of dollars. And when compared to writing your own documentation, you can potentially save hundreds of work hours and the associated cost of lost productivity. The CSOP is reasonably priced and is approximately 4% of the cost to hire a consultant or 8% of the cost for your internal staff to write equivalent documentation. When you consider your internal staff to generate comparable documentation to the CSOP, it would take them over 600 internal staff hours and cost at least $60,000 in internal staff-related expenses. This is approximately 6 to 18 months where your staff would be diverted from other work. On the other hand, if you were to hire a consultant to write the documentation, it would take them over 400 consultant work hours, which would cost at least $130,000. This is approximately 3 to 6 months of development time for a contractor to provide you with a deliverable. We process most orders on the same business day, which means that you can potentially start working with the CSOP the same day you place your order. Purchasing the CSOP from ComplianceForge offers these fundamental advantages when compared to the other options for obtaining quality cybersecurity documentation. The order process is very straightforward. We have a wide range of products as well as discounted bundles you can choose from. Once you identify what you would like to order, you include your company name and optional logo during the ordering process. You can check out online with a credit card or invoice option. Once we process the order, you will receive the order files via a secure download link. You can also request a quote online where you just select the Add to Quote option on the product or bundle page. We process most orders on the same business day, so that means you can potentially start tailoring it the same day you place the order. If you have any product-related questions, please let us know. We are more than happy to help answer any questions you have.